What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Dauntless Outdoors. Today's episode, we're diving out of Bradenton, Florida. The goal of today's episode is probably some grouper, snapper, just some reef fish. We're gonna see how it goes. We got Sam, Dad, and Colin. So we're gonna hop in. I think it's about 55 feet or something like that. So catch you guys in the water.
What's going on, y'all? Colin here. So starting off the day with a little bit of a gear malfunction. I had my band blow up on me right as I'm coming into view of the bottom, and this pretty solid gag. Wasn't sure the range that I had on the gun without a band, so I didn't pull the trigger just in case, and unfortunately didn't get to get a shot on this guy. Otherwise a great dive. So this is a few dives later. The spot was pretty fishy, nothing crazy big, but definitely had a lot of life on it. So I'm coming down here, and my camera angle's a little bit messed up, unfortunately, but I do see some gags off in the distance, and I actually use this rock right here for cover to kind of get them to turn towards me. And as soon as they give me a good shot, I pop out as fast as I can and get a to be honest, a terrible shot on this guy, but luckily I did end up landing him. I'm still running that one band because earlier it broke. I do end up fixing it later in the day, but luckily I was able to land this fish and get my skunk out for the day.
What's going on, guys? Josh here. So Colin got that nice gag, and we weren't seeing much else on that spot. So we decided to move, and now we're in about 61 to 63 feet of water, just depending on where you are at. And as you can tell, ton of nice gags. I saw them. I could have chased them, but I did what I typically would do and just go to the bottom, keep my presence as small as I can, and just wait until I like the shot. So took the shot on that one. He was the biggest one I could see, and he ended up being the biggest I got all day. Ended up getting a really nice holding shot. I knew he wasn't coming off, and just really casually swam over there, tried to keep my presence small again, because this is the first dive on this ledge. Got up to the surface, told Sam and Colin that there was some more down on the bottom. So as you see, we keep going.
So this is my first dive on this new ledge. This is right after Josh shot that solid gag. I knew there were fish here. You could see it on the graph, and Josh had just come up with a solid grouper. As you can see, there's grouper all over the sand, snapper all up in the water column. And this guy's just chilling and actually turns to look right at me, and I'm able to get a really easy top-down shot on this guy. Still one band, and luckily it had enough to punch through right there, but I didn't even go through the entire fish. As you can see, his other side of his gill plate just stopped that shaft completely. But landed the fish. Good to go. So this is only a few dives after I got that gag. Josh had dove a couple of times, told me there's still plenty of fish on there, and so we were still scouting the spot out, looking for good hogfish and snapper. And this spot, as you can see, is loaded with hogfish. Nothing of crazy size, all borderline, not worth pulling the trigger on. So I'm laying here, just looking at all the life, and a really solid hog shows himself to me. Able to get a really easy shot on him, and I just pull him up to me as I'm headed to the surface. So a solid hog for me. Good start to my my hogfish hunting day.
What's going on, guys? Josh again. So Colin just got that nice hog, and I was looking around. I'd seen some nice gags, but I didn't really like any of them. They weren't big enough for me. I just wanted to take one more, and they just weren't up to the standard that I wanted to take this day. So as you can see, pretty nice hogfish right there, and I spot another one off my right side. It's not nearly as lit up, but he was about the same size. So I'm waiting for him to line up here, hoping I can get a double shot, and take the shot, hit that first hogfish a little high, so I make sure I swim over there and grab him. and unfortunately I did hit the other one, but his tail ripped just completely out, like off the shaft, so I didn't end up landing that one. But as you'll see, we might get another shot on him.
Yeah, I want to actually like dive to land for that hog.
So Josh had just gone down and shot that hogfish, and said there was another good hogfish down there that he probably ripped off of. He wasn't sure, and so I'm just going down looking for him because typically hogfish like to just hang around their spot. You can see the little guys, but I see this specific one Josh is talking about pull out of this this ledge and stop to look at me, and I'm able to get a good shot on him. And if you look real quick as I get a little bit closer to me, you can see that his tail is split right there, where Josh just barely nicked him on that lineup of hogfish.
You hit him, Josh. I've got a good hog, but he's stuck on bottom. Do you think one of you could dive it for me?
Of course.
He's legal, right?
Oh yeah.
That's nice.
What's going on, guys? Josh here. That last clip was Sam. He got his first hogfish of the day. I think it was about 16, 17 inches, something like that. Definitely a nice fish to start the day off with. And this is a new spot. I'm calling down. It's a wreck. And it's about 65 feet to the bottom. He's got his new Neritic 5mm on. I'm looking at him line up on this smaller gag, and I was wondering why he was going to shoot at it. And then I realized there was a hogfish that just swam over him. And he actually took the shot on that. And as you see, I wait behind, make sure no Goliaths are following him up. And awesome fish.
And then this right here is just my my perspective of that hogfish. So I'll just let you watch.
Alrighty, y'all. We just got to the new spot. We're at about 52 feet of water. Looks pretty fishy, some rocks and stuff. Sam got himself, I think, a couple hogs. Colin got himself his gags. I got a couple gags, got some hogs. So we're gonna hop in, hopefully see some snapper and hogs and catch in the water.
So this is once again another new spot. We ran a little bit from that wreck to check out some more natural crumbly rock and stuff like that. And this is actually my first dive on the spot. And as I'm coming down, like you see, lots of life, lots of snapper up in the water column, and I'm just looking around for anything decent. And a nice hoggo shows his face. And this is after I'd retied my bands, and it added a little bit more tension. And that trigger pull was a lot harder than I was expecting, and I actually put two hands on the trigger there, which is pretty funny. But able to secure another really solid hogfish.
Howdy, y'all. Josh here. So Colin just got that big hogfish, so we knew there was some good fish in the area. I'd already taken one dive, but I hadn't seen anything that was worth shooting. So as you see, get down to the bottom, do my typical hunting style. Just try and keep it calm, not scaring any fish off, and just looking around, hoping to see something nice. And as you see, there's a lionfish right there under that rock. Don't like these things, they're invasive, so we want to get them out of here. Didn't feel like shooting 3 bands under that rock. As you see, the first jab shoved him and wedged him up in that area, and then the second one actually went through him and I got the flopper to open. So took this fish off the reef and didn't have to unload my gun. So now we're still on the same spot. I'm headed back down to the bottom, and I'm looking for some nice fish. Colin just shot that big hog, so we knew there were some in the area. Typically, once you shoot one in this area, there will be more that just show up. So, I'm doing my typical hunting style, just chilling. And seeing some decent mangroves. Nothing crazy, nothing I really wanted to take a shot on. And I was kind of thinking this dive wasn't going to amount to anything just because there wasn't much going on. So, as you see, take one last look around, and as I do my last turnover just to make sure nothing's behind me, I spot a hogfish right there in the middle of the screen swimming to the right, and he's pretty big. He's probably about 18 inches or so. Not a giant, but it's definitely very worth taking a shot on. So I see him, he starts tucking under this rock, and I take the only shot I got. Unfortunately, I missed. I saw him sitting under my shaft, so I get up to the surface and tell Colin to go right back down. Hopefully he's going to get a shot off on it and maybe, hopefully, land the fish. But as you see, he swims right over to me. I tell him, shot at a hogfish, and he was already ready to go down. So he goes down here. Sam had just said he saw some sharks, so Colin was a little cautious. As you see, there's a red grouper checking out the scene there, but I don't think he was legal. So Colin gets down here, looks up under this rock, and unfortunately, that hogfish is completely gone. He just was, I'm sure he got scared and just left that rock. So, kind of unfortunate. Missed out on the hogfish there. Pretty nice one, too. Would have been my biggest of the day. And now I'm on a new dive, same area, looking around, hoping to see some nice hogs, just because typically once you make that much commotion, there will be more that just show up. Obviously, there's a limit to how many will be at the same spot, but if you dove the spot before, you'd know when it's kind of starting to look like there's not much going on. So, looking around, not seeing too much. As you see, a ton of blue runners, which is typically a sign of some gags being in the area, but I spot that hogfish right there. He's about 16 inches. Not a giant, definitely legal though. So I wanted to take a shot on him. I got a pretty long gun, so it takes a while to turn it, but half the time it's worth it, taking longer shots and all that. So follow this fish down. Unfortunately, he doesn't give me a shot, and I've already been down here for a while. My first dive with that missing the other hogfish was about 2 minutes and I think 10 seconds, and that dive was like just under 2 minutes, so kind of ran out of breath there. But now we're on a different area on the same spot. It is, I think, 70 feet to the bottom here. I spot that Goliath grouper as I'm headed down, so I know if I'm going to take a shot on anything, I really have to just grab it. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I saw these mangroves in the water column. I figured they would swim up to me if I just kept calm, and this one did. He was by far the biggest. Took a shot on him. I knew it was a great holding shot, so I was pretty comfortable roughing this fish around. Grabbed him and headed up onto the surface. Made sure that Goliath didn't get a hold of him. And as you see, I'm still looking around because this area is somewhat notorious for sharks being around, but didn't see any and ended up landing my biggest mangrove of the day. So now it's getting relatively late. It is, I think, about 4 o'clock or so, and the sunset is now a little bit sooner than it was. I think it sets at about 5:30 or so. So the day was coming to an end. I still hadn't shot my second gag, so I was hoping I would see one. I knew there was a couple on this spot. This is 2 dives after I just got that mangrove, same exact area, and I was hoping I was going to see one that I had seen earlier. I spotted one the dive before, but he was relatively skittish, and also there was a shark right in front of me, so I didn't really want to take that shot. But I'm not seeing that much going on. Looking around, and finally, as I turn over, I see one gag. He's swimming behind me, and he's actually going to join another gag. I don't know exactly what they were doing there, but they were looking at me, and I turn over, decide I'm going to shoot the bigger one. The left one is the one that I saw first, but the the right side one is a little bit bigger. Wait for him to turn, take the shot. I was relatively comfortable I was going to hit him, and completely stoned him. Obviously, since I had just seen a shark, I wanted to grab that fish before I headed up to the surface. Landed him, and this is my last dive of the day. Alrighty, y'all, just got back to the house. Ended up getting 6 nice hogfish, a bunch of nice ones. Colin got the biggest. I think it was about 18, 19 inches. 2 nice mangs. The biggest one was 23.5, and 5 nice gags. The biggest one was just under 30, 29.5. So not a bad day. Ended up doing pretty good. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.